Remember when people used to love The Rock and he could do absolutely no wrong?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saved his dogs from drowning because he's a real-life superhero, didn't you know it?
The Rock posted this to his Instagram page explaining that after bringing home 2 new French bulldogs and putting them in the backyard, they both sprint right into the deep end of his giant pool and one of them failed to swim and began drowning.
The Rock has spent more than a decade having one of those reputations that is just uncomparable. He was saving kids' lives or something.
He jumped in fully clothed, cell phone in pocket, and saved one from the bottom of the pool.
What did you do on your Labor Day weekend? Sit at home and save 0 lives? You need to go outside and walk the streets and wait for someone to need you lazy bulldogless.
But recently, things have taken a turn because everybody's going at The Rock.
Photo has over 700,000 likes and over 23,000 comments. And this isn't the only time The Rock has been caught being a cool guy on Instagram, like just the day before when he posted this video of himself outside of his mother's house after a young fan noticed his car and rang the doorbell.
And it's Chase. First time I'm meeting him. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Who's tougher, me or Iron Man? Yeah, you're a smart dude. Give me some.
Some of the claims against The Rock are pretty serious and kind of bad, and some of them are petty.
The Rock takes times for kids, saves dogs, and hulks out like this? What's your life like?
Nothing like that.
I'm one of those people who have a really particular opinion about The Rock because, you know, I'm from the generation that we all grew up looking at him, if not from people who used to like wrestling, people still like wrestling, or for me, like who just saw him in the random kids movies that he used to make. Even though I was a little too old for them, some of them were around my age, but recently everybody's going at him because he be lying.
Seeing all of The Rock's lies. The Rock, as of late, has been losing hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, and it's due to the fact that he keeps lying.
For instance, like I remember when I first got into my fitness journey, and you know, The Rock is one of those people that everybody who wants to get into bodybuilding or athleticism looks up to. And I remember when I started to realize that The Rock wasn't natural.
I would believe that The Rock would be on TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. A very good thing to do. It's actually very good for you, very healthy for you.
Hi, I'm William Haynes. This is another episode of Truly Passionate. Please leave a subscribe on me. I mean, just think about it for half a second. A man is bigger now in his 50s than he was in his 20s and 30s. That's just not biologically possible. At absolutely everything in life, I always listen to someone who I consider to be an expert. I don't just base my own opinions off of, oh, I just feel this way. I try to find who the smartest person I think is and listen to them. This instance, More Plates, More Dates, Coach Greg. They know a thing or two about people who are doing steroids. Sorry, y'all, The Rock is roiding.
No one of The Rock's size, without doing perhaps 5-6 hours of cardio a day, is eating those kind of calories while having a freaking six-pack.
The Rock also uploaded a raw, uncut leg workout, which he called intense and unlike anything I've ever done.
Intense and unlike anything I've ever done. Went over his workout. Did you watch the video? Did you see me fairly criticizing the intensity of that workout and how difficult it would be for The Rock to perform? Now, had it been his first time in the gym, perhaps he was a teenager, yeah, it would have been intense. But for someone of The Rock's stature, who's the hardest worker in the room, who's been training for decades, would have been easy.
What about this makes you think that he's not? Tell me.
Notable lie of all.
There's not a chance in hell he's clean.
No.
Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50.
The Rock being natural. Oh, but he's Samoan. I mean, really, people, you think the fact that he says he gets up at 4:30 to go and train, that he can do this kind of workout and get that kind of muscle while being 100% natural? You've seen his workout. He went over it. You've seen his diet. Well, what he says is his diet. And so what is he really doing?
I mean, the thing is, The Rock never said that he never did steroids. He said that he hasn't touched them since he was 18. Okay, that's a little bit of a different story. He's saying, yes, I totally did steroids 30-something years ago, and not now.
You know, when you see The Rock and he's standing there with his shirt off, with his shorts on, there's not a man alive who doesn't want to be built like that. They all want to be built like that. So if he's telling you that he's not doing anything to get that, I don't know, and I don't know if he is. Is he telling people? Does he say, I've never taken steroids in my life? Does he say that?
He said in one instance that when he was 18, him and his friends took something and it gave him gynecomastia and then he never touched it again or something like that.
That seems suspect.
Super suspect.
First of all, when you're 18, just doing something once is not going to give you gyno.
It
right?
could.
Could it really?
The most prevalence I've seen of gyno development is in individuals who, like, without enough information went into haphazard use of like a pro-hormone or like an oral steroid without understanding like the pharmacology around it and then themselves up.
One time?
Yeah.
My favorite lie that is bringing him the most controversy is his In-N-Out lie. So The Rock has claimed apparently up to 3 times on social media that it's his first time trying In-N-Out.
This is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger or In-N-Out fries or anything from In-N-Out for that matter.
And so he claims this is his first time eating this fast food restaurant. No, it's not. It's not. You're lying.
Yet he might not have been guilty given he'd also said this.
Now, I've picked up some In-N-Out burger before for some buddies of mine. I've never tried it, so this is a first.
And he tries to say, I just went to that fast food restaurant. I went and picked it up for my buddies. I never had a bite. I never even knew how to order it. That's like when the former president of the United States says, yeah, I puffed, but I never inhaled. I was just smoking a doobie, but I never actually inhaled it. I mean,
And it's like, when you get to a certain level of celebrity and you realize you have so many people following you, I guess you realize that no one is paying attention to absolutely everything. Or the people who are paying attention to absolutely everything are very few. So he was like, I got so much attention the first time saying I never tried In-N-Out. Let me try it a second time. Okay, all right. We can give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you forgot that you went to In-N-Out. But the third time?
The Rock claimed for a third time he'd had my first In-N-Out burger experience, also pretending like he'd never even tried fast food before.
The third time he's done it, he keeps pretending that he's trying In-N-Out for the first time every couple of years.
Apparently the Moist Critical Charlie video has over 6 million views, and he is not mincing words.
Like, this whole video is just The Rock showcasing he's famous and filming people's reaction to them seeing him in all of his benevolent glory. He is an angel, and he is blessing them with his presence. He couldn't even be bothered to do the bare minimum of eating the meal on camera, so we were denied a Rock mukbang. What a shame. But here's his caption: my first ever In-N-Out burger experience. Rolled up in my pickup and tried to be cool AF with my order. And then emojis for car and sunglasses. God. But I didn't know the lingo. Didn't know who to pay, where to pay. I didn't know shit. What do you mean you didn't know the lingo? You just place an order. I don't know why he's pretending. It's not like this is complicated jargon. But I'm a quick study. Loved everyone's positive vibes in there. Holy shit, it's The Rock energy. God, he just can't. No one has The Rock's in his mouth more than he does. Like, good God. Goodness gracious. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's his own wiener. Oh my lord. His favorite meal. Love the grub, and love how everyone in the drive-thru looked at me like I have 3 heads when I gave them a tip. Thank you, In-N-Out, for being awesome. I'll see you down the road. So it clearly reads like it's supposed to be some kind of promotional thing for In-N-Out here. And it's all just standard celebrity trash, but this is the third time he's done it. He keeps pretending that he's trying In-N-Out for the first time every couple of years. Why? Why are you lying about that? You could just say, like, I love In-N-Out, so I'm going back to In-N-Out. Let's go. Can't wait for more In-N-Out.
I think Coach Greg is right that a lot of people don't want to criticize The Rock because he has such a good reputation. He is one of the most powerful celebrities, and they want to someday eventually collaborate with him, and they think saying anything negative about him will ruin that. And the thing about that is what I think a lot of people who don't really be in LA, who don't really know celebrities or rich people, specifically rich people, I think a lot of people are nice to rich people because they're like, oh, maybe they'll give me some of their richness to me. They won't. See, this is how you stay rich, is you keep your money to yourself. Trying to be nice to someone because they are rich or because they are famous isn't gonna give you back the dividends that you thought. The reason why they're rich is because they don't share their money. So if you are afraid of speaking the truth on somebody or something because you want to get something from them later, I think you will find out in life that you'll be very disappointed. So I watched Black Adam on the plane. Y'all made me think that this was going to be one of the worst movies ever. I have seen much worse superhero movies.
Black Adam was released in December 2022. Insider published an article reading, "Box office bust, Black Adam faces theatrical losses."
Did it end up being, what was he saying? The fate of the universe is, we're rearranging the state of power in the DC universe, and then they rebooted it. His thing with Joe Rogan, though, is really funny because Joe Rogan is another one of those people who a lot of people don't want to criticize or say anything bad about because they understand that Joe Rogan is one of the most influential people in the world. And they're like, okay, if I say something about Joe Rogan, I won't ever get to go on his podcast. But The Rock is like, hey, I'm one of the biggest celebrities either. Remember Joe Rogan almost got canceled for his N-word thing? It's like, Joe Rogan didn't say the N-word once. Joe Rogan, the compilation is not looking good, buddy.
More fallout today for embattled Joe Rogan following his apology for repeatedly using the N-word years ago.
My sincere and humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but all of this is just me talking from the bottom of my heart. It makes me sick watching that video.
It's not looking good. So The Rock made his tweet, but eventually ended up going on his show. And yeah, it's just really awkward because The Rock is one of those people who needs a script. The Rock cannot improvise. So doing one of these long interviews is just gonna come out awkward on him.
For The Rock, as good as he is about everything else in life, he'd be great at president.
But then when The Rock's on his podcast, he doesn't have much to say about it, and he basically just turns into Jimmy Fallon.
So one of the parties came to visit me.
Oh no!
At the end of last year, asking for me to run.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I mean, it was
for president.
For president.
Wow!
It was first of all incredibly surreal,
right?
Because I was the guy, you know, who was wrestling in flea markets years ago, looking for free corn dogs and hot dogs and shit, selling my headshots for $5, trying to make money, and then all of a sudden I'm having that conversation. But no, it was just incredibly surreal and so wild, but also so incredible that they had all this data that they had said, if this happens, here's the result. And,
wow!
It was really deep, and then I started to think again, surreal. Because that's never been my goal, right? I appreciate it, and I'm not too long ago, years ago, I was wrestling in flea markets for $40 per match, hoping that, hey, I just want a free corn dog at the end of the night.
Exactly.
And now here we are years later.
Would this be something that you would ever consider?
I think down the road, for sure.
And it's funny, one of the only interesting things he has to say about people asking him to run for president is they showed him some analytics that said he could probably win. And it's like, what'd they just show him his Instagram following? Like,
personally, I do not believe this man wakes up at 4:30 a.m. to work out. Because my question is, why? Like, I could feel you at like a 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., but waking up at 4:30, I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to get you more gains unless you're then going to be asleep at like 8 p.m. And hey, look, I'm in bed at 9:30 p.m. every night for the last 5 years. But the 4:30 a.m., I think that he's telling y'all a lot of stories and it's coming to light. And then there's the whole Hawaii thing. The Rock and Oprah gave $5 million each. And the people were like, that's not enough money, Rock.
Rock, why don't you give more money? That's not enough. Rock, you could have done more.
There was some backlash, and here's what I have to say about that. I get it, and I completely understand, and I could have been better, and next time I will be better.
The Rock says, oh, I understand there's some backlash about the Maui Fund. I get it. I did wrong. I'm going to do better. He gave $5 million. I remember when this happened, I was thinking, you're apologizing for having given only $5 million? That is a lot of money. I don't care who you are.
He apologized for it. So that one's an interesting one because, I mean, $5 million is a lot of money. But people are like, why don't you give $20 million? If it is true that you have $800 million and you do love Hawaii that much. Okay, and then the whole water bottle thing. The Rock water bottles on set thing, and I think he admitted it's true. But if true, ridiculous.
Oh, let's see his skull. Watch to the end. You see the bottle.
I want to show you a brand new colorway for the Rock Delta training shoes. This is called Desert Sand. Oh!
Yeah, I believe he did admit it's true, and I don't know. I don't think you should do that.
Well, yeah, the headline is actually true. I do pee in my water bottles, but let me give context to that. Because everyone's leaning in now to what this means. These are just bottles that I'm no longer using.
That's weird. Don't do that. So in conclusion, don't let anybody stop you from being you. If you really are a good guy at heart, if you really are the person that you say you are, believe it. Continue to be that person. And don't let that criticism get to you. And hey, if you are a liar, if you are a cheater, and that's who you are, be that person then, you know what? Be a Hollywood actor. Don't let anyone stop you and tell you that you can't act in real life. Just because real life is real and movies are fake doesn't mean that you're so famous that you can't just blend both of those lives, okay? There should be different rules for celebrities and us regular people. Right, Rock? Okay? So yeah, he's probably lying. Thank you for watching Truly Passionate. Check out this other video I did about something truly important.